Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about op-amp as an integrator. Integrator is a circuit in which output voltage waveform is the time integral of input voltage waveform. It is called integrator or integrating amplifier. Integrator produces a summing action over a required time interval and the circuit is based on general parallel inverting voltage feedback model. As I told you, op-amp is nothing but the operational amplifier. It performs all mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, averaging amplifier, then this one is the integrator, then differentiator. Integration means mathematical integration can be done by using op-amp, as well as differentiation is also done by using op-amp. So, first of all we will go for the integrator and then in the next section we will go for the differentiator. Okay. So, there is basically first integrator type, that is ideal integrator. Ideal integrator is the basic circuit of integrator. So, ideal integrator first of all we will see and then we will go for the actual or practical integrator. Okay. So, this is ideal integrator. So, again op-amp is there, inverting non-inverting terminal is there. Here you have to connect one resistor which is grounded. So, this is our compensation resistor. R com means compensation resistor. So, you can consider it as R1. Okay. No, keep it as a R comp only, but value will be equal to R1. Okay. So, this is R1, but values are same. R comp and R1 both values are same. And then in feedback, if you connect capacitor, then it acts as a integrator. Okay. So, this is your output voltage VO, then this is your input voltage VI of t. Okay. So, current II flow through this resistor R1, then here through capacitor CF there is current is IF. Okay. Then this is IB, bias current. Okay. So, these are the currents flowing through the op-amp. So, we will do analysis of this first, that what will be the output voltage of. Obviously, we know that output voltage is integration of input voltage, but with some resistor and capacitance values, right. So, here for calculation of output voltage, this, if you see this diagram, if capacitor is not there, then and if resistor is there instead of capacitor, that circuit is nothing but the inverting amplifier configuration, right. So, if you remove that resistor and use capacitor in the feedback, then that circuit acts as a integrator. We know the property of capacitor. Capacitor charges with respect to time, means for some time duration, from, so for example, from 0 to t, it do summing action over a required time, that is from 0 to t, right. So, that is why this capacitor used in the feedback, where summing action is done over a required time interval and then integration happens. Okay. So, first of all we will calculate V of t. Suppose V of t is this one is the output. Okay. So, by Kirchhoff's current equation at node A, suppose this is node A, at node A we have to use Kirchhoff's current equation. So, what is that? I is equal to IB plus feedback current is IF. Okay. So, IB is very small because bias current is very small, because input impedance of op-amp is very high. So, it is negligible. So, your current II is equal to IF. Here for our convenience we keep all these we keep all these notations in a small, in a lower case, okay, so that it will be easy for understanding. So this is your I, okay, I is equal to IB plus IF. IB is small, so IB is approximately 0. Then your I is equal to IF. Okay. Now current through the capacitor C, that current is flowing through capacitor C from this, and like this it flows through capacitor C. So that current can be given by IC of t is equal to C into d V suffix C of t divided by dt. That means your current through capacitor is given by derivation of capacitor voltage, okay, d by dt of dVc t by dt, okay. So therefore we can write like this: Vi of t minus Va of t divided by R1 is equal to, C is capacitor, feedback capacitor. So Cf d by dt of Vc of t means voltage across the capacitor. It can be written like this: Va of t minus Vo of t. So here if you see this figure, Vii is nothing but Vi of t minus Va of t, Vi of t minus Va of t, because it is in same direction, and then Vc of t is nothing but the this one Va of t minus Vo of t. Okay. Now by virtual ground concept, this terminal is connected to ground. That's why this terminal voltage is at 0 potential. That's 0 potential. So voltage at point A is also at 0 potential. So here in this equation we can keep Va of t equal to 0. Okay. Now again rewrite this above equation. So it will become Vi of t divided by R1 is equal to Cf into d by dt of V of t and Va of t. Va of t is 0. So it will be minus Vo of t. Okay. Now integrating both sides so that you will get Vo of t. So do integration on both sides. So 0 to t Vi of t divided by R1 into dt is equal to 0 to t Cf. Do integration of this. So this will be d by dt of minus Vo of t. Okay. Now after integration your output will be, Cf is constant and minus sign is there, so minus Cf will be come out, and here it will be Vo of t, d by dt get cancelled, plus constant Vo of 0. Okay. So therefore your Vo of t is equal to Vo of t is equal to minus, this Cf will come to the left hand side, right. So minus 1 upon R1 Cf integration of 0 to t Vi t plus vi t of dt plus v of 0. V of 0 is the integrating constant. So, finally, this v of t is integrating constant. So, at t equal to 0 it is 0. Okay. So, finally, v of t is equal to minus 1 upon r 1 C f into integration of 0 to t v I of t dt. So, this is the final equation of integrator. Okay. So, this is ideal integrator. So, this equation indicates that output voltage is directly proportional to negative integral of the input voltage and inversely proportional to the time constant R 1 C f. This R 1 C m is the time constant. Okay. So, if we go for frequency domain, then in frequency domain what will be the equation? Same above equation will be can be written as V of s equal to minus 1 upon s R 1 C f V I of s dt, not dt, here V I of s only, because this is in frequency domain. This is in frequency domain. So, what is s? S we can put as j omega in steady state. Okay. So, V o of j omega is equal to minus 1 upon j omega R 1 C f V I of j omega. Okay. Hence, magnitude of transfer function of integrator is, if we calculate magnitude, then it will be V of j omega divided by V I of j omega is equal to j upon omega into R 1 C f. Okay, for calculation of gain. Here we have transfer these two values, V of j omega divided by V I of j omega, okay, is equal to minus 1 upon j omega. So, minus 1 upon j is nothing but the j divided by omega R 1 C f. Okay. So, what happened here at omega equal to 0 means when frequency is very low, or if it is 0, then gain of integrator is infinite. Also, capacitor acts as open, as gain is infinite means very high gain, capacitor present in the feedback path, it acts as a open circuit, and hence there is no negative feedback, and thus op amp operates in open loop form, and hence gain becomes infinite. Okay. So, in practice output will never become infinite. As frequency increases, gain of integrator here decreases. Okay. So, in op amp, one of the drawback of this ideal integrator is at W equal to 0, that means 2 pi f equal to 0 and f equal to 0. So, at f equal to 0, your gain will be infinite. Okay. That is why gain, as frequency increases, your gain decreases. Yes. Now, we apply sinusoidal and square waveforms at the input of integrator and see the corresponding output waveforms of integrator circuit. So, suppose first I am applying here sinusoidal input. Okay. So, this is V I, this is omega t. So, this is sinusoidal input we are applying. At the output you will get integration of sine is cos. So, at the output you will get cosine waveform. Okay. So, for cosine waveform, suppose this is pi, this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi. So, same you have to see here, pi, 2 pi and here 3 pi. Okay. So, for cosine waveform, your waveform will be like this. Okay. So, this is cosine waveform. So, this is output waveform. So, when I apply a sine wave to the integrator, I will get cosine at the output, and if I am applying square wave at the input side, then what will be the output? So, here we can draw square wave, suppose like this. Then at the output here we will get these points, we have to consider here, and here we are applying square wave. At the output we will get triangular wave. Okay. So, when we apply, this is input and this is output. So, there is one practical in your subject, that is study of integrator. So, study of an integrator, for that you have to design it with the given frequency and then apply sine wave and square wave at the input and see the output. So, these are the waveforms we will get at the output. Now, what are the limitations of ideal integrator? So, even in the absence of input signal, the two components, namely offset voltage, we have seen what is the meaning of this term, offset voltage and bias current, offset voltage and bias current contribute for an error voltage at the output. Thus, it is not possible to get a true integration of input signal at the output. The output waveform is distorted due to this error voltage. Further, the bandwidth of an ideal integrator is also very small. Hence, an ideal integrator can be used for very small range of input frequency only. Rather, we require high frequency range or a bandwidth for many applications, but with ideal integrator we are getting very small bandwidth, right. So, this is main limitation of ideal integrator. So, again I am saying that because of offset voltage and bias current, there will be error at the output and there is no true integration of input signal. Okay. So, because of that, output is, first thing is output is distorted, second thing is bandwidth is very small, because as frequency increases your gain decreases. At this 0 frequency your gain is very high, right, and as frequency increases your gain decreases suddenly, right. So, this much bandwidth you are getting, which is not applicable. So, in the ideal integrator circuit, a small DC offset at the input can force the op-amp the output into saturation. Means what? In ideal integrator there is no input voltage, but DC voltage is there, small offset voltage is present at the input side of op-amp, and if your op-amp, if your integrator is at low frequency, means at omega equal to 0, your capacitor is in feedback, right. So, at omega equal to 0, this capacitor acts as open. Open means there is no any feedback. So, this part will get vanished. So, op-amp is in open loop form, and because of that small DC offset also causes your op-amp go into saturation. Okay. Saturation voltage will be always 90% of VCC. Means if you are applying here plus 15 minus 15 VCC, your output voltage will be up to 14 volts. 13.86 something. So, it is approximately equal to 14 volts. Okay. So, to avoid this, a resistor is placed in parallel with the integrator. Now, here only capacitor is used, right. So, for small frequencies we have to apply one component in parallel with this capacitor. Okay. So, in parallel when we put, it will be like this. Here in parallel we are applying like this. So, better we will draw another diagram for this. So, if we put parallel resistor with integrator capacitor, it will limit the low frequency gain. However, this has an undesirable side effects of limiting the useful integration range at higher frequency. So, what happened here, we have one capacitor, right, in ideal situation. There is one resistor and this resistor suppose connected and this is grounded. So, here we are applying Vi and at f equal to 0, this capacitor is acts like open. So, to avoid these above problems, here we are connecting one resistor in parallel with the Cf. So, that resistor is known as Rf. So, what happened at low frequency path, at low frequency signal, when this is open, there is no path, means this capacitor is open, there is no path to pass through, pass that current to the output. It will pass through the RF and then to the output. Okay. So, here for indicating that current, suppose when f equal to 0, there is no path here. Okay. So, that current will pass through this RF and to the output. Okay. So, this will avoid the saturation of op-amp. Then a few additional components are also used with ideal integrator circuit to minimize the effect of the error voltage. Then such an integrator is called as practical integrator. Okay. So, our next, this circuit is nothing but the practical integrator circuit. So, first we draw proper diagram of practical integrator circuit. Yes. So, in detail we will see practical integrator circuit in the next video. Thank you.